Hello, everybody. It's Leela.
Supercharger. 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 Supercharged. And it's Beau.
And
By the way, I hate that chorus, but it's stuck in my head. That is the weakest chorus of all the songs, but it's good.
and we're here to talk about Boys Planet episode 8 this week.
I'll have to say, first of all, I'd like to apologize
What?
to any people I might have offended by telling them that their one picks were probably, could go home and I wouldn't care. So I mean, no offense. This is what's that called?
You have to be nice.
What's this called?
Oh.
This is the Battle Dome in Mad Max.
The Hunger Games.
Hunger Dome. Hunger Games. Thunderdome. This, you've got to start being cutthroat. So I'm going to be cutthroat. I don't mean anything against, and we say this, I'd never mean anything against these boys. I think they're all of them were really actually pretty cool.
Okay.
But half went home.
But before we begin this remembrance ceremony, please, if you like these sort of discussions and you'd like to hear us talk about Boys Planet every week, we'll be here every Saturday throughout the run of the show. Please subscribe and like this video.
Yeah, she's getting
that
close
helps
to
other people see it.
1,000
and
subs.
Leave us a comment. Tell us about your top 9. Did you lose any of your faves in the culling?
The great culling.
Yeah. So let's just dive right in for this episode.
Yes.
We're primarily just going to focus on... I didn't have a lot. I don't want to talk about a lot outside of just the ranking stuff, because there was a whole half of the show that was focused on like the teams for the new songs. But that's all going to change next week, so there's no point in getting overly like worried about the team dynamics or who's in what song, because it's literally going to change.
Right.
So, whatever. So the highlights for me this week was the sports day. As I said last time, like, we're big variety content fans.
Yes.
We're big sports day fans.
Yes.
But I've been a little bit annoyed with the sports content for this series.
Preach it.
For Boys Planet, in that everything has been hyper physical.
Oh.
They're always throwing each other around. Somebody's going to get hurt, and
Okay.
Ollie did get hurt.
Ollie broke 2 fingers that he
And
told,
possibly a wrist.
that he told.
The cast goes all the way down his arm.
Well, just to keep it. Yeah, it could have broke his actual hand a bit
Yeah,
too.
I know.
He told the camera to smell his fingers. I was like, Ollie, let's never do
I
that
love
again.
you. I love you.
I love Ollie to death.
Ollie, I love you.
Okay, when I was 10, 8, 7 to like 12 and 13, me and my friends would get together and we would wrestle, like we would fight.
I know, but they need to be
I
not
agree.
injuring themselves. They're in a performance
Let me finish.
career.
Some of you might have not have done that when you were young, but when boys get together, some young boys, not all, want to one up each other, and they start to feel physically like rah, they just it can build up and be dangerous and hurt someone like Ollie. So yeah, just be careful, because these are, if you're an idol, you can hurt
where's
your
the
wrist
scream
or
and
something.
silence? Where are the other games? Like, Produce X1 gave us like really good games. Like, come on.
Girls Planet though did, I think, perfect games. They did tug of war, which is you're not physically, and then they did chicken fighting, which is real.
Chicken.
You can't really hurt each other. That you just maybe fall over. They did some real physical stuff that was funny, but not where it was like throwing people.
We don't have to stay on this topic, but that was just
Be safe.
And they had the princess game. When we watched this, it had no subs, so I have no idea what the rule of this game was. It was something about protecting the princess, but then it was like wig snatching at the end.
Yeah,
so
it was weird.
I don't know. Doha looked extremely cute. Gunwook looked extremely cute. Monster X fans, come with me on this tangent, okay? Monster X in their reality show from like 2018.
Yeah, it was a while ago. Yeah.
I did a few things where they made like fake dramas, and
Excuse
a few of them dressed up like girls and put on like wigs. And like sometimes whenever like these idols do this, it's like with Doha, it's like obviously he's like makes such a pretty girl with his wig on. One of the most surprising, like, oh wow, he makes such a pretty girl dressed up, is Juhan from Monster X is like the cutest girl.
No, but who was the one who actually looked?
Like
I thought it was a young woman you were watching.
Minhyuk from Monster X.
He's a very,
but Juhan, man, he's the cute. I just want to pinch his little cheeks. I didn't put this in my notes, but I felt the same way about Gunwook. He makes such a cute girl.
I think they were trying to put like the quote unquote butchest guys into drag kind of stuff.
In a shocking turn of events, Jiwoong not pretty in the wig, not pretty as a girl. He looked like the evil stepmother.
Well,
it's that jawline. It's just, it doesn't work.
you know, in a way, I kind of some of this stuff is a bit, when they make them dress up, is a bit like, and then you saw no, I know. But at the same time, I was kind of happy.
In Texas, people would be trying to make this illegal.
Exactly.
I'm sipping tea right now, everyone. I'm sipping tea.
Exactly. I want people to start telling people, other people, where they stand, and this kind of gave a clue. Anyway, we don't care if men dress as women. But yeah,
it was whatever.
So it was funny though. It was very fun. Everything was really funny.
So here's the eliminations. This process. Another behind the scenes here.
So this was the last.
I've been through
as of last. This was the elimination.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we've been through a couple of these shows now. At this point, the elimination episodes take so long, and I don't watch them live except for the final. So
excuse me.
I tend to just look up the spoilers and then like watch it in fast forward because it's just kind of like miserable. So I didn't really watch it, but
it takes so long.
We talked about Woongi last week. They said he was a candidate for 28.
Yeah.
He really broke down, like really could barely like breathe and hold together.
Remember Girls Planet? They would actually give them Kleenex, and I'm like, give the boys some Kleenex. They did, obviously. They did later, but it's like, don't make him use his sleeve.
But like, it was just, oh my god, distraught. But he bumped it to 26, so thank
No, he dropped
God.
one level. He was at 25.
They said he was potentially could be 28, but he's up to he's 26.
Yeah,
so.
he's now. It's interesting too. The lower ranks, mid and lower ranks. One thing is important to remember. If this is your person, keep voting for them, because what's keeping them alive, especially if they didn't win, is sheer votes. Mm-hmm. A lot of these high people, we saw it happen with Urena. She was a vote dump, though. I don't mean that in a derogatory way, but that's the term, you know.
Vote filler.
A vote filler. I felt so bad for her. I felt so bad for a lot of them, but a lot of those low, like the teens and the lows, they're purely floating on votes. Mm-hmm. Keep that in mind. Because you could see some of these top 9 fall out, like a Hui, which Hui's not even in the top 9 anymore, is he? Yeah. So you're going to start seeing that happening. So I think all you have to do at this point is steer the course. It's obvious. There's always 3 or 4 are going to make it. That's what I don't enjoy about smaller groups. I wish it'd be 12.
I hope this remains the case, because. The top 6 so far, it's Hanbin, Zhang Hao, Yujin, Matthew, Jiwoon, Gyuvin.
No.
We're not big fans of Yujin and Gyuvin just because they're a little young, and maybe there's other people that are more ready than they are.
There are definitely more people, 100 times more ready than they
But they've been up there every time. I think they're pretty solid. They move amongst the ranks, but I think that it's the 7, 8, 9 where you're going to see the most movement, and that we have seen it so far. So Tae-Rae up in top 9. You know that I love Tae-Rae. I'm so happy to see him there. Well deserved. I hope he makes it in the end. Keita hovering at 8, very steady. Very steady.
I don't know what to think of Keita. I don't think he'll end up making it.
We're going to talk a little bit about more about the numbers in a moment.
Okay. Oh, okay. You broke them down.
I have that. I didn't break them down.
No, I mean, you have the image.
I have the spreadsheet. And Gunwook made his debut in the top 9.
Okay.
Whomst I love. So
he's fine.
I'm about
he's
this
fine.
top 9. I'm good.
I am not. First of all, there's only 3 G group. I think there should be at least 4. I think give me a break.
That's overly ambitious.
We can't say that the game will never. We can't imagine because the game is rigged. We're still here to have fun and imagine a good group. So let's take a real quick dream journey with me. Let's from the beginning I have said that in order to best the success of Kepler, which is not going to be hard to do, I think, but best maybe the success of 48. I mean of Eyes One, and maybe. Was the first season, did really well. If they really want to rejuvenate this show, I think they need a superstar group. So consider this: Hanbin, fine. I know I can't. He's gonna stick around. There's nothing I can do. I don't dislike the guy. I think he's fine, but he just. Anyway, that's Hanbin.
He's a good foundation for a new, very popular group. He's gorgeous.
Fine.
He's an extremely good dancer.
I don't need to explain.
He's a wonderful center. Like. You know what I mean?
Let's just say this: Zhang Hao is Hanbin interesting to me.
Okay.
To me. I'm not saying Hanbin's uninteresting. I'm saying you have to start cutting people. This is cutthroat. This is real life.
Okay.
It's combat. Okay, so let's go down. Hanbin sticking around. Zhang Hao vocals, Hanbin vocals, fine. You have
Jung have vocals.
let's
That practice room this week. Oh my god, I was shook.
well, he's always been good.
Oh my God.
and he's a teacher in violin.
The dude
he's
can
great.
sing.
I think he's
It's amazing.
I think he's
Wow.
probably overall
Wow.
the best prepared out
Wow.
of this whole thing, except for Hui. I think he's basically, Anyway, you have basically three types of people in this. You have ready to go, cooked. They're right out of the
Fully
oven.
baked.
They're ready to go. They could have been an idol already. Then you have
yeah.
those with potential, probably. Maybe they need to go back to the oven for a while. And then you have those who just have something unique or special that you're not quite sure. Maybe it's visual, maybe it's dance, whatever. Okay. So in this top 9, let's minus the ones who I think are there for no other reason except they're cuties.
Yep.
So you've got Yujin, you've got Sok Matthew. I'm kidding. I like Sok Matthew. Jiwoon and Gyuvin.
Okay.
Minus those 3 and then move up. Then let's just say Juhun fits it. Hui fits it, Jay fits it. Now, let me talk about Hui in a second. So, you would have Jay, really interesting vocals. Hanbin obviously can sing. Not interesting to me, but obvious. Zhang Hao, we know who can sing. Hui, singer. Who would be next? Tae-rae, singer. You're approaching that EXO level of dance, visual, rap.
I'm gonna cry. A tear is coming to my eye.
I'm not, excuse me, and I'm not saying this to
and
be.
then Kada as the rapper. Can you imagine how the music from a group like that?
Well,
wow.
not only Kada, you would have
Wow.
Kada and Junhyun as rap dance in charge.
In Hanbin, it's dance.
In Hanbin, Hanbin's he's an ace like Zhang Hao. So I think people need to start considering that. I understand if you just want your cutie in the group and everything, that's fine. And Jiwoon breaks my heart saying that because I think Jiwoon actually has something unique, but he's not very skilled dance and sing. He's just not that. He's good.
He does the job. He does work.
But we're talking.
He's good.
We're talking when you put him up. He's fine. I'm not saying he's not good. I'm just saying that his speciality is obviously his looks.
His uniqueness.
That's fine.
His look.
That's fine. That couple we listened to.
That's a role in a group.
Yeah, of course. But none of these people are ugly people or whatever.
No.
They don't look like me. So I understand Jiwoon being a bear. I'm saying if you minus those 3, now if you even go even further though, which I think could be an argument could be made. Hui, who I love to death, none of us would probably be completely heartbroken if he didn't make it into the group because he's had a career. He will continue to have a career. Hell, he'll probably produce some of the songs in this album.
Yeah.
I actually, what I like about Hui is he shows as idols get older, they get better because they do practice every day. They do vocal training. And so, but let's say he's out, then Park Hanbin would make it, which I'm not super thrilled about, but Ricky, imagine if he could sneak in there.
Yeah.
Then you could throw in Ricky with the dance and then you'd have this really unique, and I'm telling you, then you'd have something like, I can't remember how many G group that would be, but it'd be more approaching a balance, and you're approaching that EXO level. And I say EXO because EXO I really do believe was probably the last that, no, I'm not a good K-pop historian, who really had, they were the superstars before BTS.
Stacked vocals.
Yeah, and BTS as good as they are, and they are good, and it took them a while to get there. They weren't just from out of there's nobody like Baekhyun in BTS necessarily. Vocal-wise.
They have different strength. BTS have different strength.
You have Kai, who's not necessarily the strongest singer, but he's
Dancer.
Dance and visual. Really good dancer. So we need to, I think I get really into this, but if you think about it, it's just like politics. You want to shape the society by participating in a vision. And I really do think that if this group wants to be bigger than Kepler or more successful, I think there already will be because people haven't had a really superstar boy group in a while. I don't think there's been a lot of kind of new goo stuff. I mean, there's of course TXT and big ones like that.
But they've been around since 2019.
And to be fair, and I'm not saying this in a bad way. So if you want to come after me, come to my home address, whatever.
Don't.
But a lot of the hype groups do get success from being on a successful label, being connected to BTS, et cetera, et cetera. There's nothing wrong with that. Hype is a great label,
Excuse me.
as far as I know. I haven't heard any evil yet, but anyway. So I want people to imagine that kind of stuff. So when you're doing your 3-pick, now I'm not afraid. I'd be kind of glad if this happened, but I am a bit afraid that the Eugins and the Matthews and the Jiwongs would fall out if that's your person, because so many people might think, oh, they're so popular, I don't need to vote for them anymore. But we
Yeah.
can't think that way. Just vote for who you want. And I have from the beginning voted for, I want a multinational, I want an international group. I want some Chinese members. I really wanted Kong and some Vietnamese. That's not going to happen now, probably. I wanted some variety. If that wasn't going to happen, I want powerhouse, actual, God forbid, K-pop group that sings and sings well live. I'm not saying that K-pops can't sing well live. They actually can. They just often their production doesn't allow them to. They go on a show, they make them lip sync. It's ridiculous. So I that's my dream if I had one, and I think there's a possibility of something that happening. But this top 9 right now, you've got vocalist and Jong Hao, right? Okay, cool. Yujin, no. Matthew, he's okay.
Solid.
Jiwoong, no. Gyuvan, no. Taeray, yes. Kata, rap dance. Gungwook, rap dance. So you don't really. It's been the same formula for a long time now, where we're not concentrating on vocals anymore. We want kind of like models and rappers more, and that's fine. I like that, but I think K-pop needs to start embracing. I've said that forever. They need to get back to embracing live, good, not on like one of those shows. You go on Mnet, and, you lip sync. That's fine because it's a production thing. But at their concerts, granted, a lot of people do sing live at the concerts, but those where they do those moments like we were talking, like BTS will do those. Where the 4 of them are singing and they're on a column. It's always a column lifting up and down. Back to those moments. And BTS did that without even having the most powerful singers in the world. They didn't. But they have a unique flavor. So at least,
I mean, Treasure's the closest any new group has come of it, and 2 of their vocalists that brought the most interesting vocals to the team are gone. So we've kind of lost.
And Treasure's still a very powerful group.
Yeah. But now it's not. They were stacked before, and now they're not as stacked as they used to be I feel the same way. I'm very, very biased towards like incredible vocal.
Like I think that you can do something like Twice, where you're not known for your vocals.
Sorry.
I mean, the vocals are crisp and good. You're known for your pretty girls and your choreographed dance, but also the really good pop music. But they're not making that kind of music anymore. Every other album is a different style now for groups. There's not a real flavor with the group.
Like
I'm not trying to sound like an old man. I'm just saying that this group is, by default, it'll do fine. They'll get the numbers. They'll probably win some awards. They'll probably be huge. I don't know.
Of course, I think so.
And it's like, but if we want to, although I love Marvel movies to death, and I do, we want to get back to where we're seeing other types of movies in the cinema that are a bit, we want to bring back some actual, a little more oomph here and there. There's nothing wrong with the Marvel concept, but I'm saying it's the same with K-pop. I want to get just a bit, the dancing can calm down a little bit. It doesn't have to be crazy where they can't even breathe, stuff like that. Or the danger is that by the time this group starts to get really tight and good and starts, I'm saying as the top 9 as of right now, it's over, right? So it would be different if they were creating a 7-year group, because like BTS, they could get better and better and better, because the rap was already there with BTS, but I'm saying with the vocals, it took a while. So I don't know. That's my whole thing. Try and imagine that when you're voting.
I'm with you. You're preaching to the choir, but the only other thing I wanted to touch on a little bit is our boy Kim Junhyun, right on the cusp, right there at number 10. Like,
yeah, but that's not number
9. That is more than I expected. I'm gonna not get my hopes up for him being in top 9 in the end, because I don't want to get my heart broken. But that was awesome to see. And that is like,
you'd have to
because we adore him. You
yes,
know that.
You'd have to consider who you'd have to knock out. Hanbin, no way. He's the golden boy. I get that. Jong Han, no way.
Him and Gunwook were like so close to each other. We'll talk about it in a minute. But is there anyone else you want to talk about?
And the ones who dropped, these are the rest of the
this is everybody that's still there.
Again, Schweibo, explain it to me, please.
I don't want you to explain it to me. I don't want to hear it.
Camden's great, but he seems so stressed. He seems so stressed.
No, this week I actually saw. I started to get it with Camden.
I like him a lot.
In some of the behind the scenes stuff, whenever he wasn't being looking so stressed, He looked really cute, and I was like, "Aw,
He
Camden,
reminds
you're
me.
adorable. Please smile and relax." And
Who's the
like,
dancer guy who keeps climbing the ranks? He reminds me of him. He's a bit more
Wang Jiahao.
butch and serious.
Wang Jiahao, look at that. That's the power of like.
So Kwanji, of
China
course,
votes
is good.
one pick.
Kwanji's in my top 3. Always will be. He's a talent, man.
Mm-hmm.
I can't see all these because it's hard to see. Nothing really big. Takudo, I couldn't even place Takudo in my brain. I don't know. Woongi. Okay, so Woongi, Ollie.
Yeah, we talked about Woongi.
Yeah, there's
Ollie,
no chance they have.
we like Ollie, but
oh, I love Ollie.
Yeah.
Okay, another thing you have this show is, and I've said this always from the beginning of the show, is it's never about creating a group. It's about hopefully you can get 1 or 2 cool people in this group that Mnet is going to create with screen time and lack of screen time. They are manipulating it that way. There's no denying that. That's fine, whatever. But it is, at the same time, Mnet does and this sounds weird, a very great service to little Nugu idols like a Woongi or something to get screen time. Maybe they'll go into another group. It's basically free PR for you. And if you come off good, you're going to get picked up by somebody else.
okay.
So I love Woongi.
So a little bit of behind the scenes. So excuse the non high quality production values. So there's a thread that Pinnipedal makes on the subreddit each time with a spreadsheet of all of the votes calculated in different ways.
Remind me to give these
which
people
is an
awards,
incredible service for all of us, and it helps us really understand the weighting of votes, international versus Korean votes, because we've always said that like as an international fan, like,
excuse me,
your vote counts for like the IK ratio you see here on the screen. It's 1 to 3.5. Every 1 Korean vote counts for 3.5 international fan votes.
And that's the rig job.
And it's like that is a heavy advantage.
I hate it. I think it's so ridiculous.
So this is the points all displayed in different ways that I think is really interesting. Some of the interesting takeaways from this is that Keita is being hard carried by global international votes. He is in Korean votes only rank 15.
It's still middle of the pack, though, so not horrible.
Vote for Keita.
Yeah.
That's what I'm telling you, everybody. And the opposite of that is Tae-rae being hard carried by Korean fan votes, which I love Tae-rae, but he's like 12 or whatever. So like, and if it was only on votes alone, no bonus points, Jay would be in the top 9.
He does. He gets kind of evenly carried,
Jay
right?
would be in the top 9 instead of Gunwook. Jay would be up there. So if it was votes only, no points. So
yeah,
keep voting for Jay.
I like Gunwook a lot.
Keep voting for Jay.
He's not Jay.
Keep voting for Jay and Keita is what I'm telling you. That's what we take away from this spreadsheet, everybody. And other notable ones, Wang Jiahao, like he would be eliminated if it wasn't for he's being so hard carried by international fans. He is so popular in China. I like him a lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, and other interesting things like people like Gyuvin.
Wasn't Matthew completely even carried too?
Gyuvin is very even carried. Is really even carried.
He reminds people of the kid in TXT. I understand. It's just an instinct vote for a lot of people. Like, hey, looks like a guy in TXT. I'll vote for him.
Like the popularity there is like the IK ratio is pretty close. Tae-rae. It's more towards the Korean vote.
I mean, the common story
anyway,
though is they're either probably carried by one or the other more. There's nobody, not many.
This is a really interesting spreadsheet. It just really makes you think about like the effect of whenever you're coming into this 3-pick and 1-pick scenario. 3-pick will probably still next eliminations will probably still be affected by a bonus point scenario, but the end result will not be affected by bonus points. It's just votes. So like this, when you look at it without things like bonus points and like look at the proportion of international votes to Korean votes and the weighting there, I think it helps you give a better understanding of like where your fave really stands and like how you should continue to vote. For me, it's like encouraging I need to stay voting for Keita and Jay, and that the international fans like we have to carry them into this team.
Yeah.
You know? So
Yeah.
that's that's all I wanted to say there. Did you want to say anything else on that?
No. I don't get too strategic about it because we're getting down to 3. You kind of just have to vote with your heart anymore.
And with that said, my top 9 has not changed since the last time we talked about it
So
at the
nobody in your
beginning
top
of
9
March.
dropped out. That's because, and I'll say this, it's
I was
because
strategic.
well, you're also accepting of you were also people in your top
Not
9.
fully accepting.
No,
of
there
what
were
I
people
did,
in there you
but-
knew were inevitable, and so you kept them in.
Well, I like Jong Hao and Han Bin, even though and Ji Woong, even though they're
And
air
Matthew.
quotes
I'm not
inevitable,
saying-
and
I'm not
Matthew,
saying-
I like them, so they're in my top 9. Well, let's talk. So the stars here on our top 9s are that you pick 3 right now. I'm voting for Jun Hyun,
Excuse me.
even though he's K group, just because you know how much we love him. I just love him a lot. And then my other 2 are Jay and Kata. You had a big shakeup because you had a lot of people in your top 9.
I kind of had to
removed
do a panic
from the
rearrange
show.
because I don't know. Like I really wanted Kong. I really like Woongi, but I just know he's not going to make it. I really like So-won. Who I think I have So-won in here. Did I keep So-won in here?
Yes.
Yeah. I hate to say this, but I think So-won just made more. Again, I hate this. I'm not trying to make it sound like all the more feminine guys are in the show are the same. I'm not meaning that, but I would like to see some more feminine guys in this group. And I don't. Woongi's not going to make it, but So-won. I just think that that last one he showed a good side of himself. Mm-hmm. He's now showing a variety. You know, he's going to start being picked up by people.
Good. He's very likable.
But he's also, you can tell, he's probably just scared. He's just going to drop out of. Yeah. He's not going to make the next cut. Because,
I think he'll make it to the finale.
I mean, look at how when he was there with Matthew, Jiwoon, and Yuvin, he got no attention. People made nonstop points about how he wasn't top 9. It's like, okay, like he didn't do anything. I will argue, and I love Matthew to death. I think Matthew was the dead weight. Well, Yuvin was, but right above that is Matthew, and then So-won and Jiwoon. I think that So-won secret. He was like the steady bass. He had the best voice that cut through on the vocals.
I know. We already talked about how much we love Kill a Team.
And this is nothing against any of these people. It's nothing personal. I'm just saying that I want to see somebody. I want to see a unique, cool group with little chaos. I would, if it was up to me, I would put together the group I was talking about earlier. It was almost pure vocal, like really good quality vocalists. Mm-hmm. But it's not. I'm more now going for more personality because I have to. But I honestly don't know. Ricky, I like keeping him.
You
here.
added him to your 3 pick,
Right? Because I think he's in danger of being gone.
Yeah.
And of the C group, he's C group of the G group. Mm-hmm. I think he reminds me of Surichi or some of those really interesting the Chinese idol or I'm sorry G or other wherever they were from non-Korean idols who didn't make it into Kepler but would have been really interesting. And I just think that given a chance, I don't think his talent levels are at necessarily like he's not the most talented guy in the world so far. It's unhoned talent, but he's up there with Jay as far as he's the equivalent of Jay is for singing. Ricky is for like dance and charisma and his look and stuff like that. So I'm trying to just kind of like make a mix. Kwanji, I think has 0 chance of making it in the group. He's beloved.
He could make
he's
it
interesting.
to the finale.
There's no way he's making it in the group. But could you imagine, him in the group, his dance, his ability?
I know.
Everybody I picked. Now, Jung Hao is about my only really, like me going, okay, I get it. You're not going away. You're into this group. But I like him in the group. I like him. Like I said, he is to me the Hanbin that's much more interesting. He has a much more interesting story, much more interesting vocals. They stand out more. Everything about him. He's got other talents and stuff. So I just don't know at this point. I don't think it'll be that mixed up. I think there'll be 4 or 5 expected, 6 expected that are going nowhere. Hanbin for sure, Jung Hao for sure, Yoojin for sure, Gyuvin for sure, people like that. Jiwoong for sure. That's 5 right there. I think we'll only get to see any variety in about 3 people, 3
Yeah.
slots, which sucks. They should have made it 12 and made it really
I think
interesting.
they should have made an 11-person group. They owe us
Yeah, 11.
as much from rigging X1. If this was an 11
Was
member
X1
group,
11?
yeah.
Okay.
Can you like how much more variety and people that would be included, and like it would just be
Well, as of right now,
it'd
that
be
would
so
be
much more
that would be
comfortable,
what?
like
Right, as of right now, that would be Jay and wouldn't it be Jay and Hui or something like that?
yeah.
I'd have to look. But so, you know,
It'd be Junhyun and Hui, but yeah.
what I in the end, and I'm sure I know somebody will do this, and it's not going to be surprising.
Yeah.
Go to the very beginning of the top 9 or and there'll be those same 6 people, 5 people they're hovering the entire time, and that's just kind of lame. It's like, oh, okay,
It's not lame. You can't resent them for being popular and being liked and being good.
I'm not. Who said I'm resenting
Well,
them
you-
for them not being in my flavor of idol? I mean, that's not fair.
Okay.
That's not fair. Like,
You said it's boring, but it doesn't.
yes, it's because I think a lot of the Korean voters are not wanting to take very many chances, or they just don't want to take. They don't feel like taking, or whatever. I don't know what it is, and the screen time values certain people and stuff like that. But I mean, the shame of Junhyun fell out. Like instead of Junhyun, you get Yoojin. Like I'm not saying knocking Yoojin, but nobody can tell me in an argument that there is a difference in how much passion there is. He seems like he wants to be there.
He's graduated high school already.
Yeah. Oh, and speaking of which, you brought this up. Yoojin is the same age as Takuto.
Are they the same age? I can't remember.
16, right?
It's been a while since I've thought about it, but they're really close. Like, yeah, Yoojin literally just like finished middle school, you guys.
Right,
like
this is not...
the way they present him
Excuse me.
is as if he's the same age as a lot of the other like people in the show, like Junhyun or some of the other youngish members who have actually like finished high school.
Right, because this group,
like he's so young and they don't treat him as such, and I feel like it's a little weird. Did we talk last time about the girls following him around his high school?
no, we've
really
talked
weird.
about it, but not on air.
Like it just kind of gave me like really weird vibes.
You know, I understand.
I think that he's just. He seems like he's maybe having a bit of a hard time and be overwhelmed.
The whole
and
show
stuff.
he's been having a hard time.
And just the thought of like, I don't know, man. There's just something there that it's just he's.
Remember
so
that scene
young
in this
and, like,
episode?
I don't know.
I can't remember who was talking to him and saying what was it? They were saying something to him like, "So are you?" What was it? I can't remember. It was kind of a weird question, and he was like, "Yeah." He was real nervous, and I remember thinking, if that was Junhyun being asked that question, he'd be like, "Ah!"
Yeah,
you know, he will. He's this group and Mnet will make this group a superstar group. They'll go to every show. This is a launch pad of a career. Eugene, people like that can get in another group or try for the next one, the next reality show, and still do well.
Anyway, that's our top 9, and I think that's it. That's it for this week.
Yeah.
Is there anything else to talk about?
No, I think
Not
we're
really.
good. The soccer game's on. I'm going to go watch that. Enjoy. But I'm sorry for the football, as we say, football. But I think it's, having said all that, I don't know if you agree with me. This has been a much more enjoyable series or a run than Girls Planet. Girls Planet was kind of hard to watch.
No, I'm honestly.
I loved it, but it was hard.
At the point right now, I'm looking forward to the original songs next week.
Oh yeah, the songs.
But like
are
I
good.
said, because they're all really good. But right now, I'm not going to get invested in the team compositions because it's all changing. There's been spoilers, but I'm going to not look at them.
Oh, there have.
Because they filmed the live taping of it yesterday, and so the spoilers have come out about who's on what team and like all that stuff. But I'm not gonna look at it. I'm gonna save it for myself, and I'm excited for those songs. They're gonna be really good. But I'm honestly a bit burned out. I'm feeling pretty burned out.
All I know is Junior needs to do a vocal song, show a serious side of himself. Do a vocal song. Jay
no.
needs.
There's not a vocal song. What are you talking about? There's only Over Me is the only vocal song.
Well, kind of.
He's not in that team.
Well, either way, he doesn't need to do another funny thing and do something a little more serious.
Yeah.
Jay needs to show not only his vocals this time, but a little more charisma. I think he's a little lost now.
I'm gonna wait until we see the final performance, because the behind the scenes stuff we saw for the Over Me team, which the Over Me team was what I'm most interested in. That song is gonna be on my top of the year.
Yeah.
Like, it's so good. Other people were like going for they didn't say main vocal, but like a vocal one or whatever you want to call it, and they just didn't show Jay at all. And I'm like, my boy better get lines because he's gonna eat this song alive.
That's what I'm saying.
But for some reason they're not showing him. I think maybe they're like gonna leave it until we see the final performance, and then it'll be like, oh wow, Jay ate again.
2 more things. Jung Hao is starting.
Oh my God.
Is starting to show his real ability, and
man.
I believe this. It's not that he's friends with Hanbin, but I think he will start to completely outshine it. I mean, completely. He will. It would be no question that he is the number one. Maybe not with votes.
He outshined him in Tomboy. He won.
I just think
Rank
that
number 1.
he has a. I don't know. He's just skilled, much more than Hanbin.
Yeah.
Not that Hanbin's not skilled. He is, but he's kind of that overall skilled. Hanbin has some really, honed in abilities. Number 2, Jiwoon. I cannot. Jiwoon. In the cutesy song?
Yes.
Fine.
Yes.
I'm all for it.
Yes, me too.
But it can't come off like Joohyun and when he did the shirt lift up thing where it was like campy.
So, yeah,
it has to be him legitimately being cute.
Yeah, yeah.
I know you're gonna look. He think, but the thing is, he's actually a really cute guy.
Number 1, I didn't vote for him in that team because I thought, oh, that's silly. You can't go to that song. You're too old for that.
No.
I feel bad about it now because I think it was the smartest thing that he could have done. Again, he might have switched teams. I don't know. That now to be like, I can't keep doing the sexy songs. He even said it when they were playing the previews for them. He was like to Over Me. He was like, oh God, I can't escape it. He's got to stop being pigeonholed into this like one note. I
agree.
Or people are gonna get bored.
Now
people are already getting bored.
He was on the cutesy team. We just don't know if he stayed there. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay.
So if he comes out and to do something completely different, I think we're all going to be rejuvenated in our love for Jiwoon because it's getting a little, like I said, it's been a little. He's done all 3 performances thus far have been almost no lines and sexiness, and so we need to see give me something more. Right, and I think it's gonna be great for him.
Right,
yeah, it's gonna be good.
But he can't. It has to be felt. Now
I think the
thing is,
he can do it.
All I have to say is doing the make you anxious, that part, goofy parts like that. That's I think he's really a fun, goofy guy, and he knows he has to ham it or he has to sex it up a couple, and I like that he's saying, I'm not going for the vocal thing. I'm not the best vocalist in the world. I'm not saying he can't sing. I'm just saying I'm not the best rapper. I'm a good dancer, but what's left is this other side that has been shown a lot in this series, which is feminine and or cute. And I think he could pull it off just fine. I think people will have, as long as he doesn't camp it up, like make it look like he's being like, oh, look how cute I am. Like,
I think the worst thing that would go wrong with it is that he just would just fall into the background.
Yeah, but I think if he just...
But I don't think that will happen. I think it'll be really likable.
Right, but how does he do it? I've thought about this. How do you do it? You legitimately have a good time.
Yeah.
And people be like, he's just adorable, having fun. Like, we haven't seen this side of him.
Yeah.
That's when the whole, I'm anxious. It was funny to hear him speaking English because he was nervous, and you think this guy with charisma, there's no way he gets nervous. He's the class president, So, no.
Yeah.
So it'll be fun to see. But I miss Kong. I'm glad Woongi made it. I swear, I thought because you watched it early, and I thought you were saying
no, I didn't watch it. I read the spoilers.
Yeah, and I thought you were saying he did make it, and I was just kind of depressed. I was like, I'm done with the show. I seriously get to that point.
You told me not to. He told me, everyone. He told me, don't tell me the spoilers, because I was like, I'm just gonna look at the spoilers. I don't want to wait to watch it. It's like 3 hours of misery, and then so he. He was saying stuff, and I didn't respond.
I think
so. He thought
I can't decide if Woongi or my boy, the acrobat, incredible Gwanji is my Bora of the season. Bora is my number 1 idol. Just FY, she's the best in the world.
Always the bridesmaid.
Always the bridesmaid. I don't know if it's Woongi or Gwanji who I'm going to be like that. Like that really hit me hard with Bora. I was like, what? How do you not vote this angel into the group? Oh my God, she's anyway. So we'll see what happens, but I'm glad at least I'm glad that they have given Woongi more time and one more screen time, and he's a good character, and so
everyone loves him. I don't get where I don't know.
But minus that he's a good idol too. He can sing and dance.
That he's having not getting votes or whatever. But
right.
I say that as someone who's not voting for him, but I do like him a lot.
And please do not mistake, I'm not hating on a Yoojin or Hanbin. I'm absolutely floored if they make it in the group for those guys. That's just not what I'm interested in. I want a little bit more skill. We have to be honest to
our preferences.
I want a little more skill.
And that's the fun thing about we listen to everybody else's podcasts about the show too, and that everyone has different faves than us, and I think that's cool. Everyone has the reasons why they like their faves, and it's all different, and that's like cool. It's part
Yeah.
of the fun of the process. Like,
Right.
there's no need to get mad.
Right. Soccer time.
Okay, we're gonna go watch football.
Have a good night.
Bye, everybody. See you next week.